Avon that's it, that's the one.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Just about 20 minutes outside of London.
Oh,
It's like big hill.
Italy's not bad. Italy, goes to Italy school.
Okay, well, but tonight we might see something.
Good evening.
good evening, Chair.
Welcome to this, oh, good night, July, Environment Committee meeting. Do we have any apologies for absence? No. No apologies for absence. Do we have any declarations of interest? Excellent, so do we see the copies of the minutes of the meeting on the 6th of June? Robin?
Over the weekend. Yeah.
Thank you. Just chair will do.
Just Jerry.
Thank you, yeah.
Great.
Okay. We do have two members of the public here this evening, and their agenda, their item is on the agenda. So with your permission, I'll move that up to the beginning of the agenda.
Yes.
So should we do that now, Steve? Yeah. Yeah. So everybody agree to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That I can.
So it's item 10, the Mothers Climate Action Network. So, ladies,
Come join you at the table then, or?
if you
Yeah.
So you don't put the slides up, but have you all got them to look at? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Well, thank you for allowing us to come and talk to you. We haven't been given allotted time to stick to, so do let me know if I'm going on too long. Okay. Thank you. So we are from Mothers Climate Action Network. My name is Fiona Kellner, Buckingham born and bred, and I've got Sam with me.
I'm Sam Dixon. I'm new to Buckingham as of 2019.
welcome.
And we set up the Mothers Climate Action Network group a couple of years ago to try and take part in some local action as part of a much wider network. And one of the things that we are focusing on at the moment is air pollution. So that's what we have come to talk about today. So if you look on the second slide, the addresspollution.org, that is a website where you can put any postcode in, and it tells you the data about the air quality outside of that postcode. It's really fascinating postcode website. So I put in one of the postcodes right in the town centre, and there the air pollution quality was at the 70th centile, as in bad. We've also been looking at it, how it is outside of our schools, and it still has exceeding 3 World Health Organization limits there as well, even though it's obviously not quite as high as in the town centre in other parts of the town. It's still quite scary when you look at the data on that website. So also 1 in 20 deaths in Bucks are linked to air pollution, and it impacts children's health and their ability to learn. So us as parents, of course, that's one of the things that's really concerning us at the moment, the air quality around schools. So as a result of that, we got in touch with Buckingham Primary School, which is the school where our children attend. And we asked them if we could do some work with them around Clean Air Day. So the slide with the poster on there, that's something that some of our children drew the pictures there with some facts on there. So we prepared that so that it could be shared on Clean Air Day this year, which was the 20th of June. To prepare for our Clean Air Day campaign, we met with the Eco Council at the school on the 21st of May. So Buckingham Primary School has a group with 2 pupils from each year group that form the Eco Council, and they can meet sometimes to work on different projects, which is a really, really great initiative. So we went in and ran a session with them. They were absolutely fantastic, and they were so engaged. And we talked to them about the impact of poor air quality. They were really knowledgeable already. They really knew a lot of stuff, and they were absorbing all the facts like anything. So we talked to them particularly about cars idling outside the school. Because that's one example for us that like there's just no need, it's no win for anybody. And it is so harmful. We think not everybody realises just how bad it is. So we showed them a lot of relevant imagery of some of the signs that people have outside schools and things like that. And then Sam spent hours and hours sewing a banner that says "Turn your engine off" beautifully, so that the children could then decorate that. So we left that with them, and then they did lots of beautiful drawings and writing things on it. That's still outside the school now. So on the day, members of the Eco Council stood outside the school gates with their banner and just wished everybody a happy Clean Air Day, and really tried to raise awareness of it, but in quite a nice, friendly way. And yeah, they were all really happy to do it. And it, you know, parents did come up to us to say this is really important, thank you. Sam even went and asked the taxi driver to stop idling, and he did. We had some wins on the day. And then we ran an assembly to all of years 1 to 6 using some of the Clean Air Day resources. So we talked to them about where air pollution comes from and how it affects us. And we did a game talking about the sources and the effects and the solution. They were an incredible audience, really, really engaged, and just really credit to the town. It was lovely. And the school also sent an email out to all the parents as well on the day as well, just telling them about what we've been doing and giving them facts about clean air. So after the day, we've had an article about it in the Bucks Herald. We have been counting the cars that are arriving outside the school. So we did a count before and we've been counting after. There's been little impact, which isn't really a big surprise, really, but still slightly disappointing. The school's committed to buying some permanent banners to put outside both of the entrances to the school. So we're really pleased about that. And we have been talking to Buckingham University about a joint event next academic year with the school, where they'll be able to bring some of the students in to kind of look at the science behind some of this stuff with a group of kids. So we're in the really early stages of developing that, but I think it'll be a nice initiative to do. So what next for us? I think particularly with the kind of fact that it hasn't had much impact and the concerns that we have about the safety outside school gates. It's not just the idling, it's all the cars. It's horrendous, and it's not just Buckingham Primary School, it's other schools as well. So we really feel that the only option is to campaign for school street so that the street is closed to cars at the start and end of the day. So that is going to be a focus for us over the next few years. A number of the members of Mother Climate Action Network in other areas have successfully been able to introduce those. It's just that we don't have any in Bucks yet, but in other areas there's 800 across the country, I think now, perhaps probably more than that now. So we talked about creating a video to share with parents as well around idling and air pollution. And just, I really want to put a GoPro camera on my daughter's head on the walk to school to really show what it's like if you're that tall walking and how awful it is. So we're going to do some things like that, get the kids to show some of their facts, so to create a video. And we would like to write to some of these organisations that have got large fleets and taxi drivers and things and try and ask them to turn their engines off. And I just mentioned in there about the Bucks Council consultation on their air quality action plan, because we have tried to engage with the Bucks Council, haven't managed to yet. So that's another way for us to try and talk to them. about our thoughts. And the last slide on there, we just wanted to mention that we held the Great Big Green Week event, which some of you were there in June as well. And that was a really lovely opportunity to talk to people in the county who are also concerned about environmental issues and air quality. And you know, we shared things that we swapped. We shared lots of plants and seeds, which was really nice, but it was also another opportunity for us to talk about this. And through doing the climate cafes and speaking to lots of people, one of the things that has often come up is around transport. And, you know, especially, you know, we all know what it's like through the town centre. It's definitely something that, as you know, people are concerned about. Did I miss anything?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Both for your presentation and the work you're doing. I've got Councillor O'Donnell here, Lisa, then Robin, and then Lucy. Questions at the moment.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm obviously all for this, but particularly because I live in Jarman Close, which is opposite Bourton Meadow Primary School. And even though we've got a notice that says residents only parking, yeah, the parents ignore that. So they're parking in our bays, their engines are on, and if our front windows are open. So I wondered whether canvassing the residents that live nearby to give you more numbers, because I bet every single person that lives there in outside all of the schools would say, yeah, it's an issue.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Now about, I'm going back in time, probably about 15 years ago, that Bourton Meadow Primary School did allow us to shut off Jarman Close. And because there's like an overflow car park, so it was coned off, and then the cone would be moved if somebody was leaving the car park. And the most noticeable thing was how much safer it was for the children crossing, that they weren't worried because they are so tiny and you've got big vehicles, SUVs, normally one child in each SUV. And it's a real issue. And something that came up with some of the children that go to Bourton Meadow is that there's no covered bicycle racks. So they would do more, you know, cycling or scootering to school. And I don't know if the school's even changed or new cycle racks. I don't know how they're doing with that.
I'll make a note on that one. They're one of the group members has got children at Bourton Meadow as well. So they also sent our information out, I think, for us.
They had cycle racks, just not covered cycle racks. So it's more incentives, and it's really the kids like badgering their parents to not drive. But the issue is that because our schools are open to all in a catchment area, you do have parents that live in villages that have got no choice, or they're driving to work or picking up from work. So it's almost like leaving the spaces for people who really have no choice and those that could walk. But you tend to find they won't. So it is an issue with us at Bourton Meadow.
So we did look at this. Councillor Margaret gave me brought some information to the council a little while ago, suggesting that we talk to the schools and try to encourage them just to promote no idle zones outside the schools. And unfortunately, there was only 2 schools that responded. One of which was Buckingham Primary, and the other one was secondary school. So it's very difficult to actually get them to engage. And you've obviously done a lot of work there already. I wonder if you're looking to expand what you're doing to the other schools.
I think we would certainly like to. At the moment, we're limited on people to do that, but we certainly have a number of them to send out our information. I think some of it also might come down to the messaging we're using. So I'm completely convinced that turn your engine off had no impact whatsoever, but maybe we can choose different messaging that actually would connect with them, and then maybe we'd have more impact. But yeah, we're in touch with the Buckingham Primary Eco Council, and they are very interested, but I think again they need help and support, which is where we can come in and give them that kind of, like, we made a banner for them so they didn't have to spend time doing that. So yeah, maybe we can then do it again, but again, like, it did take a long time to make that. So that's not necessarily something we can do for every school, but we could look at messaging.
I think they probably feel like they've tried a lot already and it just hasn't worked, and that might be why some of them didn't reply. I know that a lot of them done all sorts of things trying to encourage park and stride and, you know, give people zones around the schools of different places they can park, sending so much out, and it just doesn't have an impact. So I expect there's probably a bit of that feeling of what's the point, yeah.
Councillor Secretary,
That's not true.
no, I think you've got.
Yeah, right. Well, firstly, thank you for coming. One of the things with over what Katie did with motion was trying to gauge it was temperature. We did then some previous months before that. We had we worried about nitric oxide on the Buckingham bypass, which we I followed it up, and response, which I just noticed in my intro came in mail, probably a bit occupied after that, but bypass, which is the traffic coming on top. One of the things I think might be happy to talk to you in length about, you said that your engagement with Buckinghamshire Council was less than satisfactory and not engaging, was that correct?
Yeah.
I can got a real ability to try and help you with that. We probably ask more questions than anybody else. So I'm willing to work with you on how we do that with consent. Because I think there are some various ways through the council where this clearly hasn't actually happened, and where you get to your schools, engaging and to the chair saying that we didn't get any response back to Margaret's attempt to engage with the other schools that all happened to be in one academy group. Quite concerned with one school, they're all the same. And then those the only two schools that actually engaged you are both allies, local authority schools, and the ones that haven't engaged you are academy schools, which is quite a difference of approach. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're not interested, but that is naturality. It might be that it goes to the secretary office and they don't seem to forward it on. But the idea that what you're saying is improving scientifically, because in London, since the extension of the clean air zone, life expectancy has actually gone up for young people. There's data come out already that since they expanded the zone, that people haven't had so much pollution, and actually so less people are going into A&E, children with asthma and whatever aren't going to A&E. So the evidence is there. Local authority is the public health, which is where they should be interested in this, and also it's the education authority, and also it's the highway authority. So in 3 areas this touches them, which is disappointing me that not one of those felt that what you were saying was of any significance. So I'm happy to work with that. But firstly, thank you primarily for what you've done. I did attend your event and tried your tea and coffee out, and I did eat some cake, which is pretty much normal for me. And it was good, but just write to me and I'll see what I can do to try and change the narrative around that.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah.
So I've got Lucy.
Again, well, obviously just thanks very much, because what you've done so far is amazing. Have you considered, and I don't know, this might just be my sort of the tiny shop way of doing things, rather than kind of, I know you've kind of done like things on your engine off, but maybe some more emotive signage. I don't know, maybe like stop choking me, like a kid being like suffocated by car fumes, something like that.
Put children in gas masks outside the school.
Yeah, I mean, and also potentially something about getting, I know that Fran and I, Councillor Davis and I just kind of informally discussed that maybe children could protest, and, you know, teach children about peaceful protest and how to get the message across, you know, maybe have them stood outside at pick up time with like placards, just kind of emphasise the point that this isn't just adults telling adults what to do, but this is children that are being affected by this. This is a woke generation trying to be hippies and climate change, but this is serious. Like, this kills 1 in 20 people. This is affecting children's development, both physically and mentally. It's affecting how well they learn at school. It's affecting their overall health. It's probably going to shorten life expectancy. So maybe it is time to bring up the guns. Very expensive for children that attend schools, and I've done walking pick-ups and drop-offs, and it's terrific. So everyone on that part.
Thank you, Lisa.
Got Andy next.
Boxing, Adelaide.
Got Andy the number, John.
I think that you start no point getting the schools on board on this, because you can try as much as you like. If I take the example of Bourton Academy, it's the mums who you need to get engaged with. I can only give you the example of Bourton Academy. The mums, they don't much care about parking, about pollution, definitely not because they keep their interest in it. Because many years ago, we put a request to keep the road wide so they don't double park, so that a fire engine could go through. The posters put up on those things had no effect. They would still went and double parked. You couldn't get an emergency vehicle through. So the people you really want to engage are the mums. They will double park, they will stop outside the school, so little Johnny can get in the car and off the go. And the traffic can be building up behind them. They don't care. And they park all over the estate. If you have been to Linden Village, all the way down to where the green is. And it's a nightmare. So the people you really want to engage, if you're talking to the schools, it's the mums.
I mean, where I am, it's probably not just people that would identify as being a mum that are guilty of that, but I take your point, yeah.
John.
You mentioned about a link, where you can put in your postcode and see what the pollution is. Can't find the link anywhere in the documentation.
It's addresspollution.org. You just search for that, just Google it, addresspollution.org.
Addresspollution.org.
Yeah, just Google it.
There is, of course, an outstanding action point that's on the agenda too, where we have written to ask about pollution on bypass particularly. And I know that the new estate in St. Cornwalls has houses much closer to than Devon's. And therefore they're going to be sort of blue on that road and even into Wales, which is pretty bad as well. And we still don't know whether the Buckinghamshire Council has any intention to really monitor pollution in this town. I note that the consultation response, which is great, all the work done is great, has no mention of Buckingham at all.
No, I know.
Doesn't even feature. So it's difficult to respond to a consultation which doesn't even recognise this town exists. So I don't know where we go from here. I think we have to keep on pressing the town council about this matter, and I think we have to keep raising this. You know, it's appalling. You know, asthma. You know, it stunts children's lives. We need to just find ways to stop.
Thanks, John.
Only that, some of us may already know this, but for anybody that doesn't, I understand that Buckinghamshire Council's website just has online resource pack. So if you haven't seen that, anybody wants that, I can share that.
Just to answer John's.
I was just going to say about the equity action plan, which is, yeah, as you say, it's on the agenda as a link. It's a very large document to actually go through. And no, I couldn't find any mention of Buckingham whatsoever. There was Aylesbury, there was Cheshire, and there was girls out in the county. there was. And there was no data, there was a map of where the quality monitoring plants are, but there is no information on those within that report that I could find. Probably.
There was some data, John, with the town centre, which was published. They came to do the air quality testing when the Charter Fair was in one year, and that improved it tremendously. And in the sense where they put it outside W.H. Smith's at the time.
Yeah.
And but then, if you recall, they hadn't actually done the Buckingham bypass, which was the area where we have a lot of people come here from Embleton Way, concerned about the pollution going in there. What they have done is tested that. What I have done while we were in the meeting, circulate that to the chair and officers, not to give the details of people who wrote to me, but that information to share what the findings of that was, which might be useful. Also, there's the questions that we can go back on that to those officer team if there's any additional questions, because we've got their interest in the sense it was this committee which had a gentleman come from Embleton Way and raise those issues, and the council hadn't got the powers to do that, so we took it forward. Took it forward on behalf. It was your work that did it, and so we need to carry on those discussions. I think we need to carry on the discussions around have they monitored X, Y, and Z around the school, because I think that's a reasonable aspiration. Have they got any data? And the point is made in the consultation. They've got about half a dozen consultations all out at the moment. So I've been focusing on the library one, to be honest, at the moment. But so I do think that we need to go back and check variances on that, because it is not good enough if they want to hold one policy to sort of Buckinghamshire and then have a policy for Buckingham, apart from a missing a site. We need to do that. But those things we have, with this collection of councils being reasonably proactive, and I think, and with the limits of what they can do, they've done everything possible. But I do think there's more to do, and I think that's where maybe a conversation around what else we can do, how to move this to the next level. I am really distressed that you haven't been taken seriously. After all, you do pay the bills.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, sorry, Mark. Robin.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming, not only doing this today, but for all you've been doing. And I'm fully behind you.
Thank you.
It's a blight on 21st century life, this car business. Not only the idling, but it's outside schools. It's their children that are being affected because, for whatever reason, they've chosen a school that doesn't enable them to walk with their children to school. And I think we need to, it does go back a lot of decisions before that have led to this, but we've got to keep on and do something to stop this pollution, which is impacting so many young lives. So if I'm behind you all the way. If there's anything I can do, I will. I'm conscious we're now in the school summer holidays. I just wonder whether it's worth writing again at the beginning of the new school year to the schools that haven't responded and take it from there. And what's really disappointing is Buckinghamshire Council, because when I brought the motion, I was informed, I hadn't been aware, that Buckinghamshire Council had also passed a motion for no idle zones outside schools. So why haven't they responded when there's members of the community who are wanting to take some action?
Yeah. I wonder whether we could facilitate a meeting with all the schools and themselves to see where we could go with it. I don't know if that's something that we can. I don't see it through the office. I'm happy to be involved.
Well, obviously we're engaged with the schools already.
Yeah.
And to have positive responses, the others have either shown no response or a negative one. It's something perhaps later in the back of the school to consider.
But definitely keep in touch with us about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
Another thing that occurs to me, you might consider is a petition. It's a petition to Buckinghamshire Council and deliver it at the relevant committee meeting or cabinet meeting. And at least, I don't know that this will mean something will necessarily happen, but at least, you know, and the meetings are public, so you can deliver a petition where obviously, you know, needs to have quite a few signatures on it. I've seen that happen. It hasn't produced any immediate results necessarily, but at least, you know, you get a moment where you can talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of thoughts on that. One is, there is the community board, and actually raising it there on the community board, so the localised version of the Shire Council in our area. And that can be done easily. If you're allowed to get in touch with that, contact the office and tell you how to get in touch. And also, we do have a petition, as this has been suggested by Andy, is knock on people's windows as they're waiting outside, idling in their car. Would you like to sign our petition against idling cars? Idling in their car. They might find that an interesting sort of moral dilemma.
Just watch your fingers.
So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And yeah, keep in touch and we will see what we can do to work with you either as a group or individually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you very much, everyone.
I can stay for the rest of the meeting if you wish, but.
You may have other things to do.
Right, so Karen, enjoy the rest of the.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Okay, so item 4 on the agenda, which is the review.
So could just make a decision on 10.2 whether members wish to consider how to respond to the survey.
Go back to the, anyway. Are we going to respond as a committee or as?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. We can do it separately anyway, but yeah, as a committee.
So do we want to meet outside of this this meeting in order to put some points together on it?
Could we do it?
To delegate a few people to collectively have a discussion and perhaps send me a selected response to submit.
Can't do a physical meeting, can we do a Zoom or Teams?
Or whatever, yeah. John?
Yeah, I think that's a sensible way forward. Send the form around. I did just look at the document. I didn't see any particular set of questions.
It's I think that what's on there is actually the
Right at the bottom of the website page that I sent the link for, there's the button for an online survey.
Oh, I saw the link to the draft strategy. Okay.
And
oh yeah, voice book citizen space is the I think. Or is
Well,
it?
yeah, I'll say so that item particularly, and and let's draft some ideas together and delegate the office to respond according to what's being said. I mean, basically, the first thing is remember Buckingham. That's the first point. And second is this is harming our children's and other people's lives. We need more monitoring to know where it is.
yeah.
So and particularly with the increased amount of traffic on the 41, with the it's not really the Oxford Cambridge Arc, but it is that through road, isn't it? So do we want to have a subcommittee working group in order to come up with some responses, or do we want to email the office separately and come up with that?
I can see some practical issues with setting up a working group. We've already down to setting up a working group on the library consultation if memory serves, and we've already not been able to find a date for that quite yet. So over the summer, I think this could be problematic. So from a purely pragmatic perspective, I would caution against the working group because it might just not happen.
Do we know when it's supposed to be in?
September.
Okay, so we have got time to do it, so if we possibly could pencil it something in at the beginning of September to do that. We'll send a doodle poll around and see who wants to take part. Robin?
I'm just glancing through it and points made by people can. When you get to the Outer Vale area, the point was well made. Can't find anything in the consultation relevant to Buckingham.
No, there isn't anything in there.
And so what maybe there is something we need to do is look to find some data. There is some data for the town centre. There is the data that I've just circulated.
Well, I do believe that we did ask quite a while ago for books to supply us with that data.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we ever had a response. No, I can't remember having a response.
I'll check. There was some data for the town centre. They actually did it, and that was public.
No, we didn't want, we had there was data for the town centre, and I think that was in 2019. There was definitely data from the town centre, but there was no data whatsoever for the bypass.
Which I've given you tonight.
At that point, there wasn't,
No.
but I don't think as a town council, we wrote to Buckinghamshire and asked them for that information, and I don't believe they've supplied us with it. John?
Just one of our regular viewers has alerted me that Climate Day of Action is the 10th of October. If we want to do anything perhaps pointed on this matter, that might be a time when we might perhaps, it's a Saturday though, I think, so it won't go children to school that day. But maybe something for a few of our committee to consider, what could we do on that day? Apart from go on the dodges.
Yeah. Okay, so if we sort out a doodle poll, some dates at the beginning of September, who wants to meet up and have discuss that, gives us plenty of time then to actually trawl our way through the 80-odd pages of the consultation and highlight on the back of the postage stamp what is relevant to Buckingham itself on it, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
right?
second and item?
Lucy seconded. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. Right. So we go back to review of training needs, which we've done on the committees. To note that relevant courses and training opportunities are circulated to members throughout the year, where any requests of training may be made to the town clerk. Next, that.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Budgets, we received the latest figures. And we have Steve's very helpful, I think it's Steve's very helpful explanatory sheets. Joseph, they have really started to explanatory sheets.
That'd be good.
Of how earmarked reserves are being shown on the budget sheets. Any questions, Robin?
Just to say, I think, as we did earlier, well, thanks for the explanation. It looks like a shorter version of the underground map without all the colour, but it did help us to work out where all the money's gone, which is, was until I corrected with the request of the auditor, was it not? We show it in a different way.
Yes, there are internal auditor recommended that we use a particular part of the software we hadn't used previously, so we now use that. So hence it laid it out slightly differently.
Any other questions before I take Robin again? Robin?
I'm not proposing to have a long discussion about 204. only to say that, my understanding is that those things will come round in August again in the Buckinghamshire Council fashion. And that once we're past the 6-month situation in this, I don't think we should be discussing it after that, according to our standing orders. I have some concerns about the improvised comments around it, which I'll discuss more in length then, but I do think that it's worth noting that there's a 0 in there for this year. That's because of the decision taken in the democratic meeting and voted on the 1st of April, or Paul's Day. But I
It
just,
wasn't in that only meeting, that was when it came in.
Yeah.
Play, but the contract would have come into play, had we agreed.
yeah, it was.
I think it should be noted that it's down to Buckinghamshire to come back to us with any sort of new proposal for the next financial year. It's not down to us to be discussing it or trying to chase them for information on it, or trying to make any sort of deal. They need to come to us with a proposal first before anything else takes place. Mark,
Yeah, I understand that, but it is the residents of Buckingham who are directly affected, and maybe we can't ignore the sheer number of people who are concerned. I know we're talking about us.
but neither can we take it upon ourselves to go cutting Buckinghamshire Council's land.
No.
And loss as well.
Well, on any juncture, without actually having a contract with them, and it's down to them to come up with the contract, not us. Robin.
I've written as a Buckinghamshire councillor, advising the director of the financial year, the town council's body is still waiting, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't received a response to the town clerk's letter, which was agreed after the meeting, and it would be my aspiration that if they would come through their normal procedures to communicate to the town council. But as a town councillor, speaking as a town councillor, we took a decision based upon the evidence for us. And that's a public record, and we shouldn't rediscuss that until 6 months is up. But I do think that, as the chair has said, it is down to Buckinghamshire Council to respond to us.
Robin, there was nothing to discuss until Buckinghamshire come back to us with a new proposal. Otherwise, there is nothing to discuss. Without that, it's the only thing Buckinghamshire come back to us and say, would you like to take on default services again next year? We're going to offer you X amount of money for the contract to do so. And then hopefully we can have some sort of discussion with them. Yeah. But as you said, Robin, we can't discuss it until 6 months is up. So it will be something that will have to go to full council anyway. It's not something, although it's an environment committee budget item, there was a decision made by full council, and therefore it has to go back to full council to have any further discussion on it, Anya.
And on that note, I would suggest that we now move on to the
Thank you
next
very much,
one.
Anya. That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Just trying to reinforce your message.
So can we note the budgets, please?
Noted.
And thank the officers for their work on keeping everything in check. The next one is Bourton Park notice boards, which I believe, but Lee, you get your chance for the first time this meeting.
Yeah, this was quite straightforward. We've got 3 notice boards. We've got all our notices up in Bourton Park, and they've come to the end of their life. We've sort of patched and repaired as much as we can, but I think it's time to purchase 3 new notice boards. 2 of them are going back in exactly the same place, but we're proposing relocating one of them in between the 2 play areas, and it's the bench, so it's just slightly more visible.
Thank you. Robin, Lisa, Margaret.
So absolutely, thank you for the officers and chair report. We did have reports just on the notice boards opening and doing things, and they have definitely cast their best years behind them. And it is important that we communicate adequately with the electorate what we're doing, and they have been reasonably successful at doing that. So no problem with the recommendation.
Thank you. My only concern is moving the one that's it's called Osier Way, that little bit, isn't it, by Bourton Park, the alleyway going down. You want to move that one, don't you?
Yeah, the Burley piece.
Yeah. My only concern is moving that one because currently, if anybody is rattling or trying to do any damage to it, we've got houses there, and I quite often shout over, leave that alone. But it'd be moved to an area where there are no houses. It's not going to be overlooked. It's also used by people that are picking up their children for Bourton Meadow that aren't going down to the park. So they'll see the notice board there, read what's going on. So you'll miss that kind of clientele, if you like. And there are 2 others that are in points around the park. So I would be in favour of leaving that one. Or replacing that one, sorry, because you are going to be losing a lot of capture of the parents and that, yeah. And if that needs to be a motion, then I'll put that forward. Thank you.
Margaret.
Yeah, I support the recommendations and I agree with what Councillor O'Donoghue has just said. I just happened to be in Bourton Park this afternoon. And although it's not one of the notices that you're referring to, in the Bourton Park Senior Play Area, there is a notice. And the 4th bullet point says the nearest public telephone is on Badgers Way, opposite Fox Way. Well, I think that's now a defibrillator, not a phone box. And I wonder whether there's a way of blanking that out or something. I only just happened, I was sitting watching my it needs to be accurate. It's probably been there 10 years because it referred to 2013 at the bottom as well.
Thank you. Quite happy to support Lisa's point about that notice board might as well stay where it is. I walk through that park on a almost daily basis, and the access points are precisely where the boards are. There's one from there's one from the Badgers across the bridge, and so anybody coming or leaving that way will notice that one. And a lot of people go up there onto the Burley Peace one. It's the other route where practically everybody walks past. So I think we could save ourselves a bit of effort there by not moving it.
Thank you. So we'll take then, unless anybody else got any other points, we'll take Lisa's amendment, which has been seconded.
It's fine, just if you take them separately, members can agree if they so choose the 1.1. It's just simply a matter of voting on voting against.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's not a motion.
Right, so 1.1, agree to purchase 3 replacement notice boards. From company A, those in favour?
Everybody.
Unanimous, and then 1.2, members agree to relocate one of the notice boards from Bourton Peace entrance between the 2 play areas. Those in favour?
Well, that's not going to be relocated there, it's just going to stay there.
So those against?
So you can actually vote it down.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
You can't vote for a negative resolution.
Yeah.
So.
Can we thank Lee for his work that he's done on this?
Absolutely.
Duly noted.
Okay, so then we move on to repainting Cornwalls Meadow public toilet walls.
Yeah, so this was to get an agreement to, so what we need to do is remove the 3 doors of the toilets, get them dipped and stripped and then re-coated. So it doesn't mean that the toilets will need to be closed for about a week. while this happens, and we thought this would probably be best, just after the school or school's back, not to school. And yeah, just to get people's agreement.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose that we agree with this. The doors definitely need doing. They look a mess. And I believe there is already enough in there that says how the public will be informed of this, both when they're not at the toilets and when they're at the toilets. And of course, there are the Buckinghamshire toilets, which aren't very far away. So, yeah.
Robin,
Just to say thank you for bringing this forward. On my timeline, it flashed up the other day. Councillor Harvey, Councillor Mike Smith outside the toilets at some opening, which shows how long they've been here. But also, can I ask through Chair, is the paint stuff we're doing a bit more longevity than what was on them? Because it didn't take many years before it started shedding and peeling. And
Yeah, so it's powder coated, so that's why it's taken away.
that answers the question, because you know, I hate to think that we have to repeat the process again.
so I've got Margaret and then I've got John.
Thank you. I agree with this. I've pointed it out, I think, to you at one point about the state of the doors. So I fully support this, but can we just double check that the other toilets will be open?
Yeah.
There's not something similar happening, maintenance. So, because as a regular user of toilets, I want there to be available. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. John?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we let the public know, particularly this is on the door saying that we could be getting on while this will be and so on. And also use social media, so I think it's far and wide as we possibly get. And I also think we want to write to the original contractor and say, do you realise they're actually going to spend this amount of money replacing the doors because your paint didn't stand up to a good job? We can't claim, not sure. Royalty people who well no. But their work that they did is self-standard. I think we should tell them.
Is that excellent, John?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a seconder on that? Margaret, all those in favour of writing to the original contractor? Tell them you're ready. Very full show.
Exactly.
And Lucy, did you have your hand up?
No,
No, Anthony.
It just did occur to me that whether it's practical for the toilets here in the centre to be available for the period when the others are out of commission due to working, whether some arrangement could be made.
Yeah. Back to the management committee. Yeah,
That sounds like a
can't hurt.
feasible option to ask the question.
I'd be happy to second that, being as it is our building and they leased it from us, it would be quite appropriate that they allow some benefit from that building, which all the taxpayers are paying for the maintenance of. It seems quite a prudent decision. I think I would imagine they'd receive it and welcome it with open arms, I should imagine, to be able to make some contribution to the community through the use of the community centre toilets, which everybody in Buckingham pay for. I think they wouldn't cross that. I can't imagine any reason why they want to object.
I've just done the job, put a sign on. Welcome.
Okay, so we've got another proposal that we request from the Community Centre Management Committee whether they will open up the toilets in the community centre for the time that that's
I'm on the committee, so abstain.
absolutely. Thank you very much, Andy. So do I have a second? I thought you proposed it.
No, actually.
I was very happy to second
It's
this.
a good looking one down.
It was the brighter one. It was a more intelligent one down there.
I'm sorry. I got that. Okay, all those in favour of writing to the Community Centre Management Committee. That's everybody except Andy, who's abstained.
I suspect if they offer to do so, they'll do so for their working hours, so have to man the building.
Well, that's what.
Yeah, better than nothing.
Non-private.
Okay, and then, we vote on the recommendation that we note the report and approve the engagement of the company head for repainting work. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. And we move on to the decoration of Cemetery Lodge.
Yeah, so this is to ask members to agree to go ahead with the redecoration of the cemetery lodge. It's been some time since it's been done. Stops were obtained. Yeah, just ask to go ahead with it.
I've got John.
Those we accept the recommendation.
Anybody else?
Second that.
I was just going to second it.
Well, you second it then. Make a change.
It's just my question, is this the one that we rent out?
Yeah.
Is there somebody, if they tell us in and out? Okay, because I'd really love to be nosy one day and have a look around. Unoccupied, let us know. Thank you, but yeah, I'm happy to, yeah.
So, raised and seconded, all those in favour? It's unanimous.
Thanks again, Lee, for the work that you've done on this.
Well done, Michael.
Tree surveying software, Lee again.
Yeah, so this is to replace, we already have tree surveying software that I use to get out of date, and this is a far easier system. So I'd like to update to from your mobile phone. Well, it's slightly more expensive, but I think it's a lot better system to use. Just listen to very quickly.
I'm happy to go with that.
Yeah.
Robin,
I'll second that. Let's.
all those in favour? Easy.
And thanks again, Lee.
Okay, item 10. Then we move on to the action report. Robin.
621/23. I can report,
What was it?
town hall pen. I can report that working with, team, we've got acceptance and agreement from the town hall that, we can collect the benches from the town hall, which was, and then, at that point, it'll be up to this committee to decide what they do with the repurposing of them. But I was asked to go and find out where I could get the benches, but I know there's other conversations going on, but this goes back a long time. And to be fair to them, they wrote back rightly and said that they're very happy with agreement, the town council. Pick it up, and then at that point it will come back to this committee. That was what I was asked to undertake, and that's what I've done.
Can I just check, I'm not aware that the office has received confirmation from previous.
Well,
that we
you
can do that, so
you had an email sent to you.
thank you.
On my good self, which was copied to you and the.
So you forwarded one from previous.
It should be in the office.
So you're able to liaise on that, Lee?
Yes, I can do that. I can find it again tonight and send it on. If you can't find it, it was definitely sent.
Did you for you, that was perfect, thank you.
But I wrote back, actually, I think I blind copied you into the thanking of the.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's easy.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Well done. We just need to work out what to do with them after that, but we will gain, yeah, we'll have them in our position.
Can we say thanks to Robin in the minutes for
Yeah.
getting that sorted,
Yeah.
please? Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Yeah, I'm kind of rather interrupted this a little bit. We had a post on Facebook yesterday inviting people to like the post if they thought that the seats should be replaced to where they were originally. And within 24 hours, well over 200 people ticked the post. I think a lot of people want to see those seats back where they were. And I think it's important that villiers understand the strength of feeling there is in the town about the removal of those seats. And the, shall we say, the scepticism that there is about the reasons quoted as being a magnet for social behaviour is significant in the town as well, I would suggest. And I think whether we ought to be proactive with villiers to say, look, please, can you not just put the seats back to where they were again? Because people really, really like those seats.
Yeah.
Because they're in a great position. A lot of people, for a variety of reasons, including infirmity, find the location to be ideal.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't believe that I've ever seen any particular social behaviour happening there. At most, often there might be wedding guests sitting on the outside from the reception that's actually happening inside the villiers building in the first place. You might be sitting there with a glass of beer from the bar in the room upstairs and so on. So I think it might be worth trying to say again to them, you will do yourself, you'll get a lot of brownie points from the town community if you restore those seats, because people really, really miss them.
So I think we've gone a long way down that line already of trying to get them to do that. I do understand the huge thoughts and feelings of people. I believe that they were sited within their curtilage. It was certainly within their eaves. And therefore their land, whether they were their benches or his benches, I don't think anybody's open specifically. I think there's been a lot of work gone into getting them to agree to let us have them. And I'm going to pass over to Robin now because I think that. Can I finish speaking, please? I think that Robin has done a huge amount of work on this already. He's been in communication with villiers, as has Councillor Howard Mordew on the subject. The question has been asked on numerous occasions that the villiers can see the social media posts, and they've chosen not to respond to that. I'll hand over to Robin.
I think it's one of those cases where you can be doubly disappointed. The minute it's been on here, the action has been on the action list. Sometimes we discussed it endlessly at committee. We also discussed endlessly originally our desire to have them replaced. That took us nowhere. And then the decision was taken, could we possibly reclaim the benches? Because what we can't do is force a private landlord to put benches back on their property. I'm very disappointed that at the point that you knew that we discussed this, it was mentioned at the last events committee that I've been update this committee. A post goes out to discuss contrary to the actions which I've been instructed and asked to do. So Councillor Mordew, it happened that I had to get the response and he didn't. Now, unless there's some proposal that we go against reclaiming those benches, and the conversation that I had was a polite, cordial and business-like conversation about the thing, recognising all the things around it. I did actually raise it as an issue originally on could we possibly do that, which is now been the Facebook post, which is good because I've got a very eclectic memory, or remember everything, because you'll go back and find the minutes of wherever. What the Facebook post is not the decisions of Buckingham Town Council. If this town council wants to take a decision tonight to not reclaim the benches,
I think that's the
we can do that. But I just feel that the passion around this is whatever. And the idea that we could reclaim the benches was the thing that I was asked to do, and I hope that that brings not an exact closure to the subject matter, but it does mean that those benches at some time, with the discussion of this committee, will be repurposed, which I think is a why have a gentleman's agreement that I don't think we're in a position to achieve any more. And I hope that that hasn't, the two things should not be concluded, that the two things are separate, what actions of this town council and a vote for the are not the same thing. And I hope that can be duly noted.
John,
I'm just thinking there's a moment here that through your good offices, Robin, and your persuasive powers, you managed to get them to come some way our distance. I'm just wondering if we can persuade them to come just a little bit further in the direction that we want them to. But if that's not possible, that's not possible. And Villiers can rest where they've got to, and people will not be happy with it. One option, of course, would be to actually bolt the seats where they were, near where they were, on land owned by the Shire Council.
so that would require the Shire Council's permission to do so.
Well,
It had crossed my mind.
You know, to actually have them facing the house, you know, so people could maybe have the flowers in the back and have them facing the old town hall. The other option, of course, in terms of what to do with the seat, should Villiers still insist upon removing, still think it's worth asking the question, but we don't do that officially. I can do that unofficially.
Well, the action point was that Councillor Stutchbury
Yeah, I know.
requested that we could get the benches back, and that's the update on it. Anything further on that, I think we'll need another.
Yeah, and I'm not proposing anything directly. I'm just saying if these were sort of backroom conversations, then maybe some movement on that possibly, maybe not. But what I would say is if we do finally get our hands on these two seats, one ideal place to put one of them is there. And can we ask the private landowner of this shopping centre outside to replace the seat that used to sit outside?
But there's
sorted
there, and there's also been conversations I've seen about having another seat up by the old jail.
Yeah, that would be a good
where the
place as well.
Swan
Yeah.
ghost statue thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
on that, yeah.
Could I come back on here? Because that's another conversation that I've been having privately about repurposing that bench here. There are some people who are willing to fund that bench, a charitable organisation, and I'm not going to name them in this meeting because they're currently, hopefully, in the process of gaining permission to do so. But that will be resolved, and I think we'll all celebrate.
I think they're going
But
down in
no, but what I'm saying
things
is
which aren't
they're
actually.
not, that's
on
what I'm
the
trying to
list,
get. I'm just
aren't
answering. No, I know. I'm just trying to answer the question. I think we need to close it.
I think I'm going to close that now. I've got environment and I think you've got something else on the bench. Got something else on the action list.
It's on the action list,
Okay.
but on the same topic of benches, I know people are going to get sick of this, but the happy to talk bench, I was just wondering when the update of installation is, because I'm aware that it.
Okay, I was just about to update you on that. So I had requested that the Green Spaces team update me as to when they were going to yeah, no, I found out from John via Facebook that they'd gone on. I propose that we have a press release on it.
Yeah.
And that Councillor Harvey and somebody else get a photo opportunity on the Happy to Talk bench. It was John's proposed in the first place.
Agreed.
And I did have a brief discussion with Councillor Harvey just prior to the earlier meeting about doing so, and we put a press release out on the topic of it. So can I propose that?
Yeah.
To do that? Yeah. All those in favour?
I'll second.
As long as the two of them are happy to talk.
I just wondered whether the youth man as chair of environment could also be, because it is the town council, it's John's idea, but it's a committee. So if you could be in that
Thank
photograph.
you very much. I don't need to think for that one myself. Yeah,
Do it in a minute.
You've got to talk nicely to each other though.
we do. John,
What I would say is so again, posted it on Facebook and people responded very, very positively to it. It's really cute. And I think there's certainly a desire to have more of these in the town. So I think maybe leave it a bit. And then maybe think about where else we might put some, maybe the other parts of the parks, Bourton Park, maybe in town. I mean,
Maybe we can recently go to see the former town hall.
Why don't we put them back outside the town hall of Bucks Council and put, make them both happy to talk then?
We just, Ryan, sorry.
Just a quick point, just to add on the benches, and publicising benches. Granted, we're doing the press release, but it might be worth doing something for World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October this year. Talking as a great part of therapy, as well as other just alleviating mental health.
Sounds like a good object.
I think that'd be probably in addition to, because I think we would want to do this press release not a lot sooner than that.
Yeah,
I don't think
the same day as the Climate Day of Action.
Oh well.
It's
got to be a
bit, John again.
yeah, I noticed that a story from Oxfordshire, they have a chatty bus. The whole bus is dedicated to stations and volunteers. I'm not advocating that, but maybe if it works, something like the X6 or the X5 might have an interest in allocating one of the seats on their buses as being chatty seats. I don't know, just a thought. This is a good idea people respond to. So let's keep implementing.
In Brackley, they have a chatty cafe scheme. Which meets up and chat. Robin.
I think taking these things sort of deal with what got an agenda item in a minute, but I think we have to choose a meeting to process the thing about the mental health week and seek some advice on where that can go on the agenda. I think that's worth doing.
I think it'd probably go on events.
So we could put that on the agenda and Councillor Willett could come and speak to that, but the agenda, would that be appropriate, so we take it forward then? That would be appropriate, make a decision around a unique number. And on the chatty bus thing, maybe we could find an agenda item to do that and see whether they let us have a park bus. Which seems to never visit this town only at election times. All for election photographs.
We use it at youth club.
Really? Yeah. I thought it only got used for it. It is marvellous to know. So we could perhaps purpose it as a chatty bus. It's chatted about a lot, and maybe chatting on the inside of the bus would be as good as chatting about the outside of the bus. Brass against it. But I think that would be positive. Agenda item somewhere.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Brian finds out some information and put it on TC&E agenda.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. News releases. So we're going to do a press release about chatty bench.
Yep.
Robin.
Take it on the advisement after the discussion tonight, but with the chairing officers, if when the benches arrive back and we choose to what we do with them, I leave it to the committee to decide how they do it, with the fact that we actually now are going to repurpose those benches.
That'll be down the line.
Down the line, I think, but I don't want to say it now. I think that's for the chair and the committee and the officers to decide what they do about that, not me. I don't need to be quoted in it either.
Thanks. Could we do anything about around the Mothers Climate Action to say that we support them? The idea that we've already written to some schools and
Yeah.
do something around that. Yeah,
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Brilliant idea.
Yes, Robin.
Can we include in that fact that, once again, he raised this and continues that. I like the idea of
That's what-
continuity of people.
Yeah,
who do
I did
things. I
say.
I think that's a really good thing to do. If it was your.
I did say about previously, like
Yeah.
better to schools, so, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Totally.
Okay. So, item 13, Chair's announcements. I have an announcement. Buckingham is runner-up in the McKay's Cup with 190 points in the Bucks Best Kept Village competition. We were beaten by Marlow. I don't know by how many points, we were beaten by like Marlow. So we await the report from that.
Just let us.
Can we ask for a recap?
As long as well as runner up in the McCain's Cup, we have been given the community award. By Best Kept Village competition. I believe the reports etc. will come to Robin's Town Centre Events Committee meeting next meeting. But I'd like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank Lee and his team.
Yeah.
For all the work and everything they've done over the last 12 months since we had such a disappointing report back from last year's one. That we've raised the standards to the point that we got second place, and I'm just so proud of us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please thank you. Wonderful.
And it wasn't actually from that, about.
Yes.
I mean,
That's good.
from the events point of view, I think it's pointless to come to the next event. This is the next meeting to think if the chair thinks it's appropriate that there's a press release. It doesn't really matter where it comes from because it's about the officers, not the individuals or the committee.
Right, yes, environment.
I believe that the presentation is sometime in September.
Okay.
So whether we wait till then to do a press release or whether we do something now, I've noted that other towns and parishes that have had an award have already started publicising it.
Can't take action on a chair's announcement, it's not technically on the agenda.
Okay.
Which case we have to wait.
Then we haven't had the detailed feedback yet, so. We'll get it once we receive
Okay,
that.
but it doesn't stop any of us from putting out.
It's positive though, isn't it?
It's just actually amazing. I'm just so true. Really, really nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So well done.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
It's up to the officers to put the act together.
Right.
Yeah, no, I did say that, but it might have been dragged out by the floor, so it's going. It's all right.
Councillor Ruth Mill, we had to sign up in the town centre many years ago. She was chair of Parliament at the time.
Okay. I don't want to get us signed up front.
We don't.
I don't want to do it, we're not going to run up anyway. If we do, that'd be brilliant. On that note, date of next meeting is Monday, the 7th of October. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And for your input.